Hi everyone, we're going to talk about math and assessment. Whoops. Okay, so this is module 4. And our learning goals: develop an understanding of formal and informal assessments and understand and plan for activities that embrace multicultural and diverse experiences. So assessment should enhance children's learning, and it should be considered a valuable tool for making instructional decisions. Our starting point should be what the child brings to the lesson and not focused on the deficits they have. So assessment should be very useful when teaching math. There's summative assessment, which is the cumulative evaluation that generates a single score, like the end of a chapter test or a standardized test. It's a digital snapshot. The formative assessment is used to determine what students understand at that time, and it can also, and should be, used to assess the students to help with planning, identifying misconceptions children may have, and information that can be used to provide feedback and decisions about instruction. So formative assessment is mostly what we're going to be talking about, and that's described as a streaming video. Again, within our Blackboard module, you'll have access to different resources that I would like you to look at. And this one is about the 9 keys to effective practice. So if you can check those out after this presentation, that would be awesome. And also different ways that we can involve families in assessment. So we want to make sure that families are involved in assessment, especially right now with whether school is virtual, hybrid, or face-to-face. We need to partner more with families, even more so now than ever. So that's something we really want to think about. How can we involve families in sharing assessment, in taking part in assessment, and in helping their children learn? Within the videos this week, there's also an example of skill-based assessment and what that looks like. Observations are something probably you're all aware of. You know, it's a way that you gather information while observing and listening to children. So information may have gone unnoticed if you're not observing and listening, and the observation data can be combined with other data and used in lesson planning, providing feedback to children, you know, family conferences, and also for grades. So one thing I can tell you as someone who worked with pre-K and kindergarten students, assessing children can be very time consuming, but it's extremely important. So it's something that you want to make sure that you have a system in place and that you make sure that you are providing opportunities to know what children know what they're learning, what they can do, and then find ways to plan your instruction around that. Anecdotal notes I found extremely helpful when I work with young children. You could write short notes either during or immediately following a lesson, and then just write a brief narrative. You could have a card for each child taped on a clipboard, and then on that card, write messages, write on an electronic tablet and in a spreadsheet. Focus observation. Say you do 5 children a day as you're making these notes to make it more manageable. So that's one suggestion. Checklists can be used to cut down on writing and focus your attention when looking for specific objectives. And you can always include a space for comments. So using questions with young children can provide better data and more insight to inform your instruction. Chapter 2 talked a lot about using questions. And then we can use that information to help us evaluate and formatively assess at each phase of the lesson. A diagnostic interview is used, what we know to design an assessment. It's usually a one-on-one investigation. It might last 3 to 10 minutes. These are assessment opportunities and not teaching opportunities. They provide information you cannot get any other way. And it's a way to gather information to plan for your next steps. Problem-based tasks are you can find out what children do know rather than what they do not know. So provide them with, last module was all about using problem solving to teach math. And so provide children with a problem and ask them to solve it. Problem-based tasks focus on mathematic concepts or skills aligned to specific targets. They can stimulate connection of content a child knows and also to new content. And again, like we talked last module, allow for multiple solutions using a variety of tools. And this also allows children to use reasoning and to explain their thinking. Translation tasks are children are asked to use more than one representation to demonstrate understanding, and they can use these when you want to find out more about children's thinking. I think that actually we'll go back to that in a minute, but 1 second, I'm sorry. Translation tasks are actually explained in detail on page 45 of chapter 3. Rubric. So I am going to ask all of you, will be creating a rubric to go with one of your demo lesson plan. And a rubric is a scale based on a predetermined criteria with 2 important factors. It permits children to see what is central to excellent performance, and it provides the teacher with a scoring guideline that supports analysis of children's work. So again, chapter 3 provides examples of rubrics that you can use when teaching math to young children. And you will be creating a rubric based on your math game. Okay, please let me know if you have any questions or comments. Thank you very much.